a Russian spy turned whistleblower, a rare radioactive poison, and a political murder that left a glowing trail across London. Did the Kremlin order the world's first nuclear assassination? Or was Alexander Litvinenko just another pawn in a deadly intelligence war? This is not just the story of one man's murder. It's the story of power, betrayal, and the deadly price of speaking the truth against the Russian state. Alexander Valterovich Litvinenko was born in 1962 in a Soviet Union built on secrecy and fear. At just 20 years old, he joined the KGB, the world's most feared intelligence agency. He quickly rose through the ranks as a counterintelligence officer, specializing in fighting organized crime. His colleagues described him as brilliant, fearless, but also dangerously honest. A man who couldn't keep his mouth shut, even when silence was the safer choice. By the mid-1990s, he saw something that changed him forever: corruption everywhere. Russian security services were no longer just catching criminals, they were working with them. The FSB, the KGB's successor, was, in his words, in bed with the mafia. But Litvinenko didn't just whisper his concerns. He went public. In 1998, he accused his own bosses of ordering political assassinations. He claimed the FSB was murdering journalists and businessmen critical of the Kremlin. The result? Litvinenko was arrested, jailed, and officially labeled a traitor. In 2000, fearing for his life, Litvinenko fled Russia with his wife Marina and young son Anatoly. Britain granted him asylum, and for a while, London seemed like a safe haven, but safety was an illusion. Litvinenko couldn't stop writing, couldn't stop exposing the Kremlin. In his books, he accused the FSB of orchestrating the 1999 apartment bombings in Russia, series of explosions that killed 300 civilians. He claimed they were staged to justify war in Chechnya and to pave the way for Vladimir Putin's rise to power. Litvinenko was now more than just a defector. He was a weapon. He worked as a consultant for MI6 and shared intelligence with exiled Russian oligarchs, men who wanted nothing more than to see Putin fall. On November 1, 2006, Litvinenko received an invitation he couldn't refuse. Two former KGB agents, Andrei Lugovoy and Dmitry Kovtun, wanted to meet at the Millennium Hotel's Pine Bar in London. The three men drank tea. Litvinenko smiled, laughed, discussed business. But by nightfall, he was vomiting violently. His hair began falling out. His organs started to fail. Even as his body shut down, he recorded a message to the world. You may succeed in silencing me, but that silence will come at a price. The howl of protest will resound in your ears for the rest of your life. 22 days later, Alexander Litvinenko was dead. Doctors were baffled. The poison wasn't cyanide, not arsenic. It was polonium-210, a rare radioactive isotope, 250 billion times more toxic than cyanide. Polonium-210 isn't something you can buy on the black market. It's produced in state-controlled nuclear reactors, mostly in Russia. The killers left a nuclear breadcrumb trail, traces of polonium on airplanes, hotel bathrooms, and teapots. Lugovoy and Kavet touched. It was the perfect murder weapon, silent, slow, and almost impossible to trace, unless you knew exactly where to look. Andrei Lugovoy and Dmitry Kovtun weren't random thugs. Lugovoy was once a trusted KGB bodyguard with deep ties to Russian business elites. Kovtun, on the other hand, was financially unstable and rumored to have mafia connections. Both denied everything. Lugovoy claimed Britain framed him. Russia celebrated him as a patriot. He was even elected to the Russian parliament. But British investigators were certain they carried out the assassination. The question remained, who ordered the hit? In 2016, after a decade-long investigation, Britain's public inquiry concluded President Vladimir Putin probably approved the assassination. Litvinenko's books called Putin a terrorist, a criminal. Killing him sent a message to every defector: you can run, but you can't hide. The Kremlin denied it, calling the allegations absurd. But intelligence experts insisted only a state could produce and transport weapons-grade polonium. The murder ignited a diplomatic war. Britain expelled Russian diplomats. Russia refused extradition. It was a sign of a new Cold War: covert assassinations abroad, executed with theatrical brutality. But some argued the story wasn't that simple. MI6 staged the assassination to discredit Putin. Litvinenko, exiled oligarch ally Boris Berezovsky, orchestrated it to provoke anti-Kremlin outrage. Others whispered that Litvinenko himself mishandled polonium during secret operations. But none of these theories explained the radioactive trail leading directly to Lugovoy and Kovtun. Marina Litvinenko never stopped fighting for justice. In 2016, after Britain's inquiry, she said, "Sasha died for telling the truth. Now the world knows who is responsible." Alexander Litvinenko believed in truth, even when it meant betraying the most powerful men in Russia. His death wasn't just a murder, it was a warning to every whistleblower. In the world of espionage, secrets can kill, and truth can be the deadliest weapon of all. What do you believe? Was this a Kremlin-ordered assassination, or part of a bigger spy conspiracy we may never uncover? Comment your theory below, and subscribe to the Crime Stream for more deep-dive crime documentaries.